Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network. Well, check this out, man. I know you got some folks in the comments that wonder why I keep bringing up the Scorpion unit. Some people even ask, what's my issue with the Scorpion unit? Man, y'all gotta understand, they were paid to protect and serve, but they decided to do the opposite and assist their relatives, Yo Gotti and Big Juke, take out Young Dolph. Again, somebody who is actually a benefit to their community. Now we seeing that the Scorpion unit and the people at Makita's was working on behalf of Yo Gotti CMG in order to set up Young Dolph. And this all happened while Young Dolph's brother Marcus was present. I told y'all Marcus was there with the burner on him the whole time and another one in the whip to protect his brother. But he was unaware of what these guys on the other side had planned for Young Dolph. I'm trying to tell y'all, Marcus, he seen all the bogus activity Yo Gotti cousins, aka the Scorpion unit, were doing to Young Dolph, like moving his body, grabbing his jewelry, and hiding evidence before the coroners and detectives pulled up. The Scorpion unit even tried to make it seem like Marcus would help set up his own brother. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, these dudes is bogus. That's why they all going down. Not just for Young Dolph, but for T. Nichols as well. That should let y'all know that the Scorpion unit was into harassing productive citizens, while at the same time letting the criminals go. See, what a lot of folks is not paying attention to is that the Scorpion unit, they've been there from the beginning, watching Young Dolph moves for Yo Gotti way before Straight Drop came into the picture. See, Straight Drop, he was paid to infiltrate Paper Route Empire in order to watch Young Dolph moves from the inside. That's why you had some folks even blame Key Glock for Young Dolph's setup, because everybody in South Memphis knew that Key Glock and Straight Drop, they went back. They've been knowing one another for years. I'm talking about years before the whole hit on Young Dolph was planned. And this, what a lot of folks don't know, is that Straight Drop uncle is cool with Big Juke. So he informed his nephew, go check in with Big Juke, because he got a job for you and it pays well. And again, that job was to infiltrate Paper Route. While the Scorpion unit, they would antagonize Young Dolph every chance that they got, whenever they seen him out in South Memphis. Even Young Dolph's family warned him about coming back to Memphis because of the actions from the Scorpion unit, always pressing Young Dolph for one thing or another. And even Dolph's family knew that it was all because the Scorpion unit were relatives of Yo Gotti and Big Juke. Y'all can go back to some interviews where even Young Dolph spoke on this before. Young Dolph stated in 2018 when the Scorpion unit took over $2 million in jewelry from him and $60K in cash. That's when Young Dolph's family told him to stop coming back to Memphis, because they even recognized the issues that Yo Gotti relatives, the Scorpion unit, were bringing to Young Dolph were not cause for, and it just wasn't worth it. But Young Dolph, having so much love for his family and his hood cat stay, he wasn't gonna let the Scorpion unit stop him from supporting his folks. You got more folks in Memphis that'll say that Young Dolph did more for them than Yo Gotti ever did, you understand? Because Young Dolph was a real dude. He would do things to support others, even if it still ended up in his untimely demise. That's just the type of cat that Young Dolph was. With that, let's pay our respects to the King of Memphis and say rest in peace to Young Dolph, condolences to his family, and much love to all my folks in Dolph Land. Again, to all my folks in Dolph Land, you will soon get justice for Young Dolph's untimely demise. You just gotta be patient, because the Scorpion unit, they messed up so much evidence and information pertaining to this whole Young Dolph case that the feds now have to go about it their own way. And one of those ways was releasing Govin on a low bond, because they even felt like to get to the main person, you gotta follow the money. And that's true, but you got a lot of folks behind taking out Young Dolph that's paid off. And y'all gotta remember, we not just dealing with the people in the streets, we also talking about some folks up that political ladder who was part of this whole Young Dolph setup. And the reason why Young Dolph got so much respect, because the folks knew every time Young Dolph came back to Memphis, he would put somebody on. That could be Young Dolph invested in a small business, aka Makita's, or signing a new artist out of Memphis to Paper Route. Again, that's why Young Dolph has so much love, not just in Memphis, but in South Carolina, But in South Carolina, Chicago, Louisiana, Atlanta, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Cali, Florida, just name it. A lot of folks had love for young Dolph because of the type of man that he was and what he stood for. I'm telling y'all, man, that's because young Dolph, he stayed looking out for folks in any way that he could. We already know about the whole young Dolph paying people rent to food drives, fundraisers, giveaways, free concerts, and all the other countless contributions young Dolph made on behalf of the folks in Memphis. See, everything I just mentioned about young Dolph is the reason why the folks in Memphis want justice for young Dolph's untimely demise. So based on that, they want the Scorpion unit to inform the Alphabet Boys who paid that bag to take out young Dolph. Because that's who the feds really want, the person or the people who will have the motive to orchestrate this whole young Dolph setup. I know before it came out that Yo Gotti and his brother Big Jook was behind it, you had some people saying that maybe CEO Daddy O, or again, Marcus Thornton, young Dolph brother. I could even go back to folks saying that the paper route artist was behind taking out young Dolph. And I tried to tell you guys before, all these folks I just mentioned, they had genuine love for young Dolph. They would never think about doing something like this. They would have to be grimy and heartless in order to take out somebody that's been a benefit to their existence. Sad we can't say the same thing for the people at Makita's. Yeah, man, it's up from here because the Scorpion unit and everybody else that's affiliated with taking out young Dolph, they definitely gonna do their time for that crime. Because like I told you guys before, they was even unaware of how much love that young Dolph had, not just in Memphis, but across the globe. That's when the Scorpion unit knew that the love that young Dolph had was authentic and real, and that you got folks out there that will slide for Paper Route Frank. Even though we don't promote that over here, but we do understand the consequences when you take out somebody like young Dolph. Well, let me inform you guys about this whole young Dolph setup. And that's if it wasn't for the Scorpion unit displayed to take out Paper Route Frank, it couldn't go as planned. And the reason why is because you need people on the department to hide the camera footage and certain evidence so it won't tie back to the people who initiated this whole plan from the beginning. So like I stated before, everybody think that Govan is the main key player on Yo Gotti's chessboard, pretending to taking out young Dolph. But if y'all can see, it's really the Scorpion unit, because they have history of antagonizing young Dolph, sitting in that parking lot the whole time, watching the setup on young Dolph go into action. They also assisted Straight Drop and Cornelia Smith get away in their white Benz, grabbed young Dolph jewelry, hid the camera footage, and a lot of evidence as well. And that's not counting what they allegedly did to T. Nichols. Knowing that, they definitely ready to tell something, to not get all that time that they know they gonna get. And trust me when I say the folks in Memphis are still skeptical of Makita's owners, Pam Maurice and their daughter Raven, also receiving a bag to help remove young Dolph, because it's suspicious that none of them I just mentioned was in Makita's during the setup, Pam Maurice or Raven. So there's no way that they didn't know about this beforehand. But I'm just heated at the fact that knowing all these brothers got together to take out one man, somebody who actually motivated the youngsters in their community to do better. But dig this, young Dolph brother Marcus, he witnessed a lot of bogus activity from the Scorpion unit and the people at Makita's, because demons seen how they was acting weird when young Dolph pulled up, knowing all the other times they would be all happy and giddy when young Dolph pulled up. This day and time of November the 17th in Makita's, everybody in there had a gloomy look on their face, because they knew what was about to take place, which was to delete the king of Memphis, young Dolph, aka Paper Route Frank. So with that, always be aware and always stay prepared. But hey, we got more in store. As always, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's worth. Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network.